Hello, everyone. It's Tony at Shining Hawk Healing, and oh my gosh, I have a special guest, Celtic Sheila from Celtic Sheila Tarot. And you guys, I'm sure you know her because she has a wonderful, and that's my dog, Lulu.
I like doggy conversations.
Well, you know what? I was gonna talk to you because I know that you rescue dogs, right? And how many dogs do you have right now?
And I'm ashamed to say, but I think it's around 5 now.
Wow.
But to my defense, most of them are Chihuahuas. If you put them all together, all I have is a medium dog.
That makes sense.
I mean, they only take up a little bit of time.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because both of my dogs, I have a Goose who's Gooseberry, and I have Lulu who's Lucy. And Lucy came from Tijuana.
Ooh.
And off the streets of Tijuana, she's a feisty fighter, full of fire.
She learned the tricks. That's why.
You
Yeah.
could tell. I mean, she has you could tell she was a fighter. She had a piece out of her tongue, she has a divot out of her tongue. She's a fighter. So,
Good
and
for
when we take her for a walk, and I don't really walk her, I walk Goose, who is a full pity, and we had him since he was 8 weeks old. So, so he's he's taking her lead a little bit with all the barking and stuff, but he's a sweetie pie. He's never known a fighting day in his life. Fighting day in his life. So he's like, oh, but Lucy, she's a cunning. She's really, but sweet. She loves people. She just does not like other dogs. So when we take her for a walk, she turns into the Tasmanian devil.
This is my home and you can't take it.
It doesn't matter where
this is my mom and this.
So it's hard to walk her because people are like, whoa, what's wrong with that dog?
Oh my gosh.
And we used to, in the beginning, we had to give her meds just to calm her down because she was just vibrating. She vibrates with all of that stuff. So, and then Jen Lynn did a reading. She did a reading for me on her, and sort of gave me some more insight into her psyche.
Good. Yeah.
So she loves my husband.
Oh,
more than anyone, and you can tell because she's attached to him at the hip. And then Goosey is sort of my little baby, so it's sort of a huge baby.
Well, I have one big dog. She wasn't supposed to be big. I can tell you a little story about her.
Yeah.
So I get a phone call in the middle of the night, and they're like, "Hey, we have somebody in Kansas who just track down a puppy meal or whatever, and we have all these puppies. Would you like one?" And usually I can do fostering, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'll foster one." They're like, "No. If you're coming out here, you have to take, keep, and raise." And I'm like, I'm hanging up the phone and grabbing my purse. I'll be right there. You know what I mean? I'll be right there. And she was only supposed to be, she's an Aussie Doodle, and she was only supposed to be like a medium dog. Well, she ended up to be one of those big poodles. So
is that like an Australian something or
Australian Shepherd mixed with a doodle, like a poodle. So she has papers, and she had all of her shots and all that and things like that. So that was really good. But yeah, she was supposed to be here, but she ended up here. When I picked her up, when I picked her up, she's like this little itty bitty dogs with, I literally paws like this. Like this little dog paw. I'm like, oh gosh, she's going to grow into those paws. So I now have a panda because she's black and white. So I called her my panda. So yeah, there's my last little, but I'm keeping that one. Yeah, she's
So did you foster out the other ones?
Yeah, I have several times somebody will call me up and say, "Hey, I can't do it. I got kicked out of the house. I can't take my dog with me. Other than that, I have to drop it off at the Humane Society, and I do foster dogs and animals through the Humane Society, mostly puppies and stuff like that. I haven't in a long time. I don't know if it's because of COVID. Anyhow, that's a long story. So anyways, they'll call me, and I usually take, and I have rehome several puppies. I don't have to go through the red tape. I don't have to do, you know what I mean, of all of that stuff. They don't have to pay a fee with me. It's not like I'm taken away from there. It's just that they're giving the dog to me, and I then rehome. And then several of my dogs, of course. There was one of my dogs she was very old, and I had to put her down because she just couldn't see. She couldn't walk. She was just in a bad way. So as I went to go get her ashes, because I keep their ashes and put them up on my mantle and stuff. And as I'm driving home, I get this huge thing, go to the Humane Society. I'm like, no, I'm not getting another dog. And I'm driving. And I'm just literally about to that road where I turned to go to the Humane Society. And it got louder. And finally, I'm in my car. I'm sure I'm looking crazy. I'm yelling at Spirit, fine, I'll go. Right? That's me. I'm praying back. And, as I'm answering the prayer. And so as I go down there, and I promise myself, I'm not getting a dog unless it's a Chihuahua. I'm not getting a dog until it's a little one. So I get in there, and all these great big huge dogs and all these other dogs and all that. And there's only one Chihuahua in there. One.
Yours.
Yep. So I look at this dog. His name is Odie, and he's an applehead Chihuahua. So they're really, really, really tiny. And I look at him, I'm like, you're the reason why I'm here, mister. And so I, sit with him, get him. And he was like $200 for all of his stuff and all that. And I bring him home. And he is attached to my daughter, literally attached to my daughter. So he came home for my daughter.
Yes.
And so he was like, he's so cute and so well behaved and so very, very, he's potty, house trained. He's such a good dog. So anyways, that's my little story about the little Odie who I got from the Humane Society that, was hollering for me. Somebody was hollering for me to go get that dog before I got home with Abby's ashes. So that's how it goes in my house, in my life.
It's like a revolving door in your house.
It really is. It really is. Once, don't bring me a puppy, because that puppy will never leave my home. Don't bring me a puppy. Oh my gosh, it's terrible. Oh my God, it's so cute. You can't have it back.
I know. Little Goosey, he looked like a little piglet when he was so white and pink, and when he goes to sleep, when he sleeps, everything turns pink. And when we wake up in the morning and I greet him in the morning, I say, "Good morning, pig."
Oh, how cute. Cute.
Beautiful. So thank you so much for being here. I just have to let everyone know that that Sheila is the one who sort of helped me or put me over that 1,000 subscriber mark when you invited me onto your show, and I was sort of struggling, and you were so welcoming and so wonderful. And I just want to say thank you for your support and what you did for me, and I really appreciate it. And here I am, almost a little bit over a year later.
Yeah,
I'm here, and I'm, and I still sort of figuring out all the little ins and outs of doing this work and everything. But I watch you, and you're so professional and so good, and you have so many things that you do with the pictures coming in and out and the how is she doing all of this stuff? So
I'm not. That's the key. You're right. Sheila's not doing it. It's Spirit is taking me on this journey, and that's way more interesting and more fascinating than anything Sheila could bring up with you. But yeah, I just kind of follow that journey. Yeah, but thank you for the compliment. I appreciate that. I remember, and this is how I got to find you, is I'm scrolling through and seeing who, to invite people onto my show. And I'm scrolling, and you had done a video with your little wheel. I was hooked. I was like, oh my gosh. And so I just knew that I had to have you as a guest because
Thank you.
of how, you were soft spoken, your spirit, you're shining. I mean, literally everything was there, honey. So you hooked me.
Well, you know what? I saw on the community tab that you were thinking about making a new channel on spirituality. And I was like, gotta talk about it. Gotta call her. Gotta get her on the show. Let's talk about spirituality. Let's get that going because, the political is sort of, it's very big and people really, really love it. And I love it too, because, I watch some of it and, I try to stay away from the news, but
Right.
I get some of the information from the readers who do political. And hello, everyone in the chat. I'm sorry. I'm just so excited. I'm not ignoring you, but hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. But I was so excited that you were gonna sort of focus in on more spirituality on your new channel, and I was like, we have to talk about this. We have to talk about the impact of how we have grown and moved into our where we are now. And so tell me how you got started in what's your origin story? When did you find out that you had a gift? When did you realize that you could do this work? A little bit.
Well, I know I don't want to take too much time, but I wasn't raised in the best atmosphere to grow a child, okay? So I literally, functioning in that type of atmosphere without going into details, I started to rely on a lot more than just my family. So I had to rely on what was coming through this little child. And I would get information like, my father was not a kind guy. My stepfather especially was not a kind man. So I would rely on that 30 minutes prior to him coming home, that intuition, he's coming. I'd get my little brother and I would tell my mom, we're going to the bedroom. We're going to go play in the bedroom. And I would just get out of the way. And that intuition, I didn't realize it at a time because I'm a young child, right? 7, 8 years old is my first memories of really, really paying attention to that. I didn't realize it at the time that I was relying on a gift that was given through spirit. It wasn't, So anyways, those were my first memories and stuff like that. And as I grew up, the other things just to keep me safe from here, going out into public, I would, ironically, you can still do it, but a lot of people are literally wide open. This sounds crazy, but you could read their thoughts. And I'm not trying to be funny or anything.
No.
But I remember being in standing in line in stores, and I would hear this conversation and turn around like, I know this person's thinking this. And I thought, to be bizarre myself, I'm like, somebody's going to put me away. Right? But people are so open with their energy and with their thoughts that I didn't realize that another person could pick up on that. And I realized quickly that I could. So all of these type of things are coming into play. And then I'm asking questions to the universe. What is that? Why do I do that? And, every time you ask the universe information, it starts coming to you, right? It'll come to you and help you with that. And so I started to get answers, and I started to get in places where to go and who to find out and who to talk to and things like that. So hold on a minute. All of a sudden, I got my throat got scratchy.
It's okay. You want to get some water? Have a drink. I know what you're talking about. It's like I had no idea, and I was in New York City and went to the post office, and the guy behind the counter says, "Have you been to a sweat lodge lately?" I'm like, no, I don't even know what that is.
Somebody saw the native in you. Yeah.
So that was like, but at that point I had been seeing the phoenix everywhere. the
Oh, yeah,
bird,
yeah.
the word, everything. I would look around and I would see the phoenix, and it felt like it was like pointing me somewhere, but I
Yeah.
didn't know where. So if that's, you can, I'm just going to hand it back to you and you can tell me.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, is like I'm getting this information. Goodness gracious. Animal behavior. But it happens like that. So I'm going through life. I'm getting married. I'm having children, and I'm trying to raise them, and just trying to get into just being a wife. Oh, what happened? Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All of a sudden, my screen just left. Hang on a minute.
Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still okay. There, I have no
I
idea
see
what
you.
just happened. What is going on? Anyways, and so I just am going through all of that, and so finally I hook up with my sister, my older sister, who does tarot cards. So her and I sit down, and I get introduced to tarot cards when I was like 22, 23 years old, and I love them, right? So I knew I loved the tarot card, and so I practiced with that for quite some time. I'd go home and I'd have my own decks, and I would, do readings for the people and stuff like that, and finally, I just went through a whole journey of healing because of my past, and I did a lot of internal work. And once that internal work was mostly done, because I'm still there, you still have to ongoing. It never stops. Once I, started healing, really healing, not just healing, really healing. I came back to spirit. I came back to my intuition. I came back to all of this, and then it just, as soon as I turned back to all of that stuff that I know that I can do, it just floods in.
So let me ask you, did I just take from what you said that you had a sort of a tumultuous relationship with your stepfather, and I had a bad relationship with my paternal father, my father.
Yeah.
But did you find that you had to do a lot of work in forgiving in order to move through that?
Here is one thing. I was forgiving for me that was tough. And the reason why that was tough was because I kept on saying, I'm not giving him anything. He's already taken everything. I refuse. And I would go through it because I was, my mother was religious and this, that, and the other. And I would constantly go, I am not giving him anything. And I couldn't understand the reason why I was so stubborn on that. And finally, somebody who was really into the spirituality says, Sheila, you don't have to give him anything. The only person that's going to forgive him, who has the ability to forgive him, is God. And I thought, okay, now you're speaking what I've been feeling all this time. My job is to heal from the damage, right? So I didn't have to give this person who is taken from me all this time. What I had to do was go and heal me, so that when this person is in front of me, I have no bad feelings for them. And it made tons more sense to me. And that is how I did it. I healed me, so therefore you no longer have power over me. And when you are looking for your own salvation, you're going to have to find it somewhere else. I don't have the power to give it to you. I've never had the power to give it to you. But you will no longer be able to do anything to me. And so that was my journey. And I very rarely like the word forgive, because I'm not giving them. I think what we need is for healing. For healing for us. In order to walk through that, because I can't do anything about him. I can't change him. Nothing. Therefore,
nor do you need to. You don't have to do anything, except the only thing is whatever happens in your heart. That's what's most important, right?
Right.
I remember when you were sort of, I don't know if you're now in the place where you were. It used to say, I'm in a basement, and you had this desk against the wall, and You were doing your cards, and then I think you moved to another area of the house. You were like, it's too cold down here. I've got to move.
I did. I was actually in this corner right over here.
Oh,
I had my desk and stuff like that at the beginning, and I only showed my hands. And then it was cold down here, and so I moved up. I have a 3-story house, right? It's very tall. It's not huge, but it's tall. But anyways, I moved up to my bedroom. And so that's where I think I had met you possibly. And I had that little screen behind me, and I was in the corner of my bedroom and stuff like that. And I was having problems with audio. I was having problems with I was just so much technical problems, right? So finally I get this computer and I get a nice little, a better, audio thing. And so I moved all the way back downstairs again. But I have heaters now.
Oh, great. Awesome.
I'm not freezing, and I use blankets.
I know. What? Look,
exactly.
It was so cold today. It was like I have to have a blanket because it was so cold.
Yeah. I gotta keep warm.
So were you doing, when you first started, you were doing just the cards, just the tarot, right? And then were you already working on remote viewing and that kind of thing? When did you get into the remote viewing?
So what happened? I was actually watching Whimsy one day, and she was talking about remote viewing. I never really saw anybody do like a remote view, to be honest with you. I was kind of curious, but all of a sudden it started dawning on me that I have been hijacked in a remote view all of my life. Have you ever just been, all of a sudden you're walking through life and you just got frozen, and a picture or a movie just walks through your mind? And I go, okay. And then you come out of that, and I'm like, where did that come from? And I used to get hijacked a lot through spirit. So, and finally I realized, like, what if I could put aside a moment and ask for it at the moment? And one day I was just doing my thing, and I go, I'm just going to try it. And so I did a video, and I closed my eyes, asked the questions, and instantly I was connected. I was like, okay. And then instantly they started coming true. I'm like, okay. So I just started to trust and trust and trust more about that process. And now I can be asked a question, close my mind, either with somebody that's personal. There was one time I was doing a reading with somebody, and I have permission to tell this because I asked her. I was doing a reading, and I closed my eyes, and I said, honey, you are down on this earth to walk through what experience pain and get to the other side of that and understand what's going on. And then in the remote, I said, I see fire. I see like burned and charred. And I was going on. And then she goes, Sheila, my last name is Pain, and we just went through a house fire. I was like, all right, confirmation, right?
Yeah, evidence.
Evidence, confirmation that I am on the right track, because and all of us as readers know, we all sometimes have a twinge. Is this real?
Right.
We're not the only ones that are, is this real? And I get confirmation like that constantly, because what I don't want to be is, what I don't want to come off as somebody who is lying or deceiving or fake. That's not, no.
Yeah.
Right. No.
Right.
So yeah, that was some pretty special stuff. So as my journey comes, and as I'm going through all of this, I just feel it coming on. I feel the spirit. I feel the information. I'll go to sleep. So I'm getting it more and more and more. So I hope that answered your question.
Oh yeah, that's perfect. So when you're doing this, you put a circle of protection around you. What does your protection process look like? If you want to share it.
Sure, absolutely. So I was talking to she was a gypsy, and she was one of the Romania gypsies. And she was she was like really older than I was, like maybe she was in her like 70s, right? And I was sitting down and talking to her, and we were talking tarot and all of that and the old ancient ways. And she was telling me a story. And she said that back in the day, that readers weren't into the spirituality, kindness, collective getting along thing. They just weren't. They were in competition, and they were, afraid that somebody else would come out with the information before they did. They were always in this competition thing. And once they learned that they could put hexes on somebody, or they could make their life miserable or something like that, they started that going on back in the day. And so she said that
other readers.
Yeah. So back in the day, that's how it was back then. Wow. And I'm like, really? And she goes, yeah, it was a meat market is what she called it. And so she said that because the old Romanian ladies who used to do tarot and all of that, she said that they came up with it's called a mirror spell. And I was like, a mirror spell? What is that? And everybody's all don't like the word spell, right? It sounds witchy and crazy, but she said it's a mirror spell, to where what you do is you put your picture inside a mirror, and the mirror is facing out. You can put it in a box and and what you do is you ask for protection, whatever, especially from other readers. This is one from other readers. If anybody reads on me without my permission, you are only reading about yourself. So whatever information that comes through those tarot cards, you are learning about yourself. And so that was one protection that I had. And she told me something else. She says that once we have asked for protection from the divine, it is constant, pure, it is constant and forever. We never rescind that. And we also have a birthright of protection. I'm like, what? This is as a birthright of protection. Spirit has offered you up that protection as a birthright. And I'm like, okay. So these are the things that I believe in. These are the things that I've enacted as in that protection spell from other readers and stuff like that. Not that I don't think I've ever had to. I don't experience anybody bad, but I have that. And then I believe I have a birthright. So I have asked the universe to protect me forever. I don't have to say it over and over. I do not believe that I am vulnerable at any time. I am protected all the time. So that is where I believe I'm protected all the time. So I don't have a ritual of that. I have cleansing rituals more than I have. I don't have protection. I've already asked for that. So I have cleansing. Like sometimes the spirits build up around here. All right.
Like bodies.
Exactly. So I'm like cleansing it out. Like all of you guys got to go leave, back up a little, so that so I can function a little.
Okay, come on through. Out the door.
Exactly. Like, see you. Thanks for showing up. We're good. I also have witches' bells that I make, and so I have them also on there. And the theory behind the witches' bells, because I enchant them, is that with love and kindness, I ask that you do not come into my home if you are of the negative spirits, out of love and kindness. Love and kindness is always a protection, always, always. So no demon wants to walk through love. I guarantee you that.
Well, when you were talking about the mirror thing, it's just like what immediately came to mind was scrying, and I do know that mirrors can sometimes be portals, to
True.
and things can come through the portals in the mirror. So I tend not to really stare into a mirror for very long.
That is true. I've heard a lot of that too. But mirror work is something else. Have you ever done mirror work? You probably haven't if you want to stare into that. No, mirror work is unbelievably healing.
Really?
Yeah. Have you ever heard? Mirror work is this. You sit in front of a mirror and you look at yourself in the eye and you say, you are loved. Let me see how well your spirit takes that when you're talking to yourself like this through a mirror. Oh my gosh. It takes a lot to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I am willing to be healed from anything. And then all of a sudden that one part that doesn't want to be healed goes, what? 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 I didn't realize I stood for that. What?
I didn't sign up for this.
Who are you talking to? And it's really something. Mirror work is really healing. It's really difficult to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you are of divine inspiration. You are what our ancestors dreamed of. Because I have a weight, right? I'm not skinny. I'm not one of those girls that are trying to get pregnant anymore. I'm not thin. And so, just not one of them. And so I have to look at myself. I look in the mirror and I says, you are what our ancestors dreamed of. They dreamt of weight to be carried on a body so that they could last and so that they could, survive and stuff like this. And so it's tough. Mirror work is tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. But if you believe it's a portal, then that may be your problem for you. Let's not bring that girl back.
No. Stay on your side of the mirror. I know we were talking earlier about your new channel and you kind of want to bring this in January. Is that what
I do? I'm going to do my best to get this all brought up in probably the end of January, to be honest with you, because I got to get through the holidays. The holidays are tough, all aspects with me. So I get through that, but my dream is there. My vision is there. And so I have that going, and probably by the end of January, I will have the other channel up, and it's going to be called Spiritual Conversations. And then I'm going to invite, all of my friends, including you. And we're going to have like little subjects, but I want a twist. It's some of it's going to be serious. Some of this might get emotional, but I am a Gemini. I bring humor to everything. Right?
What did you say earlier? So it's about the box.
The box. Oh, yes. One of the conversations is that dark side of the soul. And can I cuss on your? It's like one of the conversations or one of the subjects is, let's get that bitch out of the box. Let's talk to her, right? Stop keeping her there. Yeah, let's talk to her. Let's get her out. Let's find out why, you're been put there. Why are you staying there? That dark side of that soul. Yeah. So stuff like that. Yeah.
And I think that's why I have a little, I guess I have a little block about remote viewing, is because I'm kind of shy anyway, as a private person, but I really like, I don't like to be like kicked out of places. And I think some people can go, who are you and why are you here? Get out.
Right. Like, did we really invite her? Are we sure we did? We sure. Let me see that list.
I'm very nice. I don't, I want to knock and go, can I come in?
I see what you mean. Yes.
You know what I mean?
So here's one thing. Everything in the Akashic Records, you're really tapping into the Akashic Records. And I may be saying the Akashic wrong, but a lot of people have different ways of saying that. The Akashic Records. So the Akashic Records are available to every spirit out there. Because once that puts into the Akashic Records, they have been released by every spirit, whether you think so or not, but you've already given them that permission to go into the Akashic Records. The Akashic Records that are not up there are people who have clamped down and said, no, this is private. Like, there's a lot of things up there that I can't guess. Like, I was doing Putin one day and all of a sudden he kicked me out. It's because he locked down on a private thing, right? These are the type of things that are real. Those are true. I cannot talk. It's not like he did do it. He goes, like, you can't get in. And I can't. So anything else that is up there is public. It's like public records. Like,
it's like the public library.
Yeah, the public library. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. And so when we're there, I feel like I've already gotten that permission to go in there. Now, I would never go into somebody else, ask for Akashic Records about you without permission, because that would be violating my own personal moral compass.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. Now, a public figure The literal public figure is what we need for permission for any of those. Now, if I'm going into like their personal like sex lives and stuff like that, then no, you don't have permission for that.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah, nor do I want to be there.
Especially from Putin.
Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah.
No, thank you.
Yeah, so that's how I see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's me not trying to be, because when I was growing up, I tried very hard to be invisible.
Oh,
I mean, if I could have been really invisible, that's how I would have stayed. Most of my childhood is just sort of blending into the background, not saying much, not doing much. So to go to knock on someone's spiritual door and go, I want to go in.
I got a few questions. Right. Exactly. I got a few questions for you. Are you willing to sit down?
That wouldn't be me. I mean, it may be me now because I've grown and I've learned so many things about myself that at that, that 6-year-old or that 3-year-old child would be like terrified to do. Now I have that. At least I have the vision or the intention that I can actually do something like that. I can actually speak to spirit and be confident in what I get back. It's just, I haven't tried the remote viewing all that much.
Yeah, I just got an idea.
What?
So you're Native, right?
My father was. Yeah.
You have Native, definitely DNA, Native. So there's other elements of remote viewing. So what if, because we all know all 4 of the elements have conversations. They have a spirit. They have words. They have messages for us. So what if you would try it with like the air? What would the air? What's the conversation of the air like? What would that see, or the fire, or whatever, or the trees, or I mean, an elemental remote viewer. I just see you. I see it.
Well, I'm a shaman, so I already do that with trees and with rocks even. I can go into rocks. It's just the people that scare me.
Well, there you go. Kick them out. We don't need them. I had one time a shaman go out, and I was having a really big question, a trouble with, like a life lesson or whatever it was. And this shaman had me go out and pick up a stick that's already fallen off of a tree. And I had to bring this stick in, and I had to hold this stick, and I had to close my eyes. And she says, close your eyes. And she says, now ask that stick for its wisdom. And I thought, God, I'm going to the funny farm. Okay. I really am. I don't need it. So I sat there with this stick, and I remember closing my eyes and sitting there with the stick, and lo and behold, the wisdom of that tree, that stick, that element. Oh my gosh, I can't remember the message at this point in time, but because it was like 10 years ago or whatever. But I remember getting out of it and then opening up my hand and going, I cannot believe this is real. But it was so real. So real. And so I can understand you holding on to a rock and capturing that wisdom. I think that's you.
Yeah. I mean, when I journey through a tree. I usually go through a tree and down into the roots when I journey. And that's how because the roots are like, for me, it's like Highway 1, the 101 or the, wherever you happen to be in the world, whatever highway or roadway is there for you, there's that underneath the ground. The tree roots really sort of represent that, and you can travel really easily through them. So that really speaks to me. So yeah, that's, as a shaman, that's what we do. We do this thing called hollow bone healing,
Yes.
where you take rocks and you just, you will, because rocks, they have a memory.
Yes.
And they can also be very cleansing, because most of them, especially river rocks or rocks that you pick up at the beach, they've been washed ashore. You don't know where this rock has come from, how old it is or whatever, but it has so much energy. And when you pick it up, just, everybody in the chat, if you want to go out and pick up a rock, bring it back home and just live with it for a little while, you may find that it starts to, speak to you. And that may sound a little crazy, but
it's ancient wisdom.
Yes.
It's real ancient wisdom. Right?
That's so, and it's it's fun to do, because and then you also do pendulum work.
I do pendulum work. I do. I did pendulum work kind of at the same time I started learning tarot cards, right? I think I lived my whole 20s out of a pendulum question. Shall I do this or shall I not? You know what I mean? Should I get married? Should I mean, really, a pendulum told me where I needed to be. But
is that how you met your husband?
Well, that's a whole other story of how I met my husband, but it wasn't really out of a pendulum. It was out of a vision quest kind of a thing that I did.
Really?
Yeah, as women, we watched that one movie with Sandra Bullock and the witches. They were witches or something like that.
Yeah.
Where she conjured up her husband with one blue eye, one blue eye. So we, us women, we watched that. I'm like, let's do that for ourselves. We can do that. So we did, and we sat down. We started writing down every single thing, and I got obnoxious, of course. So I put on there. I wanted, him to have green eyes, and I wanted him to wear a uniform, and I wanted him to be left-handed, and I even described the size. I mean, and so I was particular, and so I'm getting all this thing, and then of course I got to the good stuff. I got all the, and I want him to love. I want them to be honest. I want them to be this and that, and all that. And we folded them all up, and we put them into this what we called a God box at the time. Spirit box, God box, and I popped them in there, popped that thing in there, and I'm like, oh, let's see if it happens. Year to almost the day I meet this man.
Wow.
And he was actually with one of my friends. Her husband was over in Iraq. Brad was just coming back from Iraq, and he was home for a little while. And he had promised his friend that he would take care of his wife, and his wife needed a ride because something was wrong with the car. And she went to the same meeting that I was going to. And so she ended up there with him, and he saw me, and he goes, I want to meet her. That's how it happened. I mean, there was no way that I was going to meet him on a regular time frame or whatever. So there he was, and he had everything, including a left hand, right and left hand, green eyes, everything. I said he had to make as much money or more than me. I didn't want to, carry the man. So, everything. I mean, a driver's license was important, back then.
This is going to sound weird, but I did the same thing for my husband. And then I put it in my diary, and, and everything on the list was delivered. So guys, it works. And yes, the movie was called Hocus Pocus. Was it?
Oh, yeah. I think Hocus Pocus. Maybe, no, I don't know if it was Hocus.
No, it was the Witches of, no, what the heck was that? I can't remember.
Maybe it was, I don't remember either, but yeah, we watched that where she's conjured up her own husband, and we thought we could do the same thing, and it worked.
That's work. Absolutely. It does work. So wow, that's amazing. And I was going to ask you another question related to that, and it went out of my head because I was going to grab my cards. Just give me a minute. I just got to grab my cards. I should have had them here before, but I didn't.
Practical Magic. That's it.
Practical Magic. Oh gosh,
it.
I love that movie.
Me too.
So much so that I can't remember the name of it.
Yes. That's normal. Yeah, Practical Magic.
Hey Jody, how you doing? So what prompted you to decide to make like this second channel, make this move over to the spirituality part. And, you know, and I know political is very important to everyone because there's so much going on. But sometimes I feel like we give it so much energy and you know, we ask the same question so much that I feel like me giving, you know, the orange Cheeto guy any kind of energy at all,
oxygen,
oxygen, is a bad thing. You know, what we should do is just starve him of all the, you know, just starve him of the energy and maybe he'll just go away.
Right. Well, one thing I realized that when I do my political readings, I'm not there for him. I'm there for the people who are experiencing him. And so when I realize that, so I'm there to make sure that they see the picture or understand it or are prepared for anything that happens. And so I kind of remember that. And in politics, you know, the only reason why I wanted a YouTube channel is because I needed a voice against Trump, honestly. And I knew that these things were coming through, and I knew that, all of this information about Trump and all of that. And so once I started my channel, that's pretty much. So here's something about YouTube as well.
Okay.
Once you find your niche, and my Celtic Tarot Sheila is a political niche and on that channel. So it's hard to shift to something else, right? It's hard once you're known for that on that channel. So what I thought to myself, and I know we were joking prior to coming on, is that if I can't move them to over here, I'm going to move and go to another channel and bring in those who are looking for spiritual conversations and stuff like that, and still have my political genre or my niche on that channel, because I do enjoy it. I really do. I enjoy getting in there, finding out what's going to happen, letting you know. I mean, my channel has predicted so much, like, you know, Biden winning, us getting the House, us getting the Senate, and, you know, and all of these things has happened on that channel. So I'm going to leave it there and let it be as beautiful as it wants to on that side. And so I'm going to shift and just start something over here, so that my political family, my political subscribers don't think that they have to now choose between what Sheila used to be like and what Sheila is now. You know what I mean? I've always had a spiritual side to me. And I do believe that any reader has a spiritual side to them. And so I'm just going to also honor that side of me as well. But on another platform where they'll feel free that they don't have to deal with, you know, political anything on that other channel. Yeah. So one will be political, one will be not. Yeah. So we'll see how that works out.
Oh, well, I'll be there. I'll be there. I'll be there. So at least, you know, I'll be there.
There you go. You know, if I have three, they always say if you have three, you have a family.
That's right. And you have a party.
Exactly. We have a party.
Three is a party. Do you do oracle cards as well?
Well, oracle cards are usually just the end of a reading. I can get into oracle cards for sure. Oracle to me is just messages, right? Oracle is like a collective of the whole universe, what the whole universe. It's not a direct message. Like I would give you a direct message from spirit that is tailored just for you. But my oracle readings is for the collective. And so, yeah.
That's what I do. I do with the wheel. That's what I do is oracle readings for the collective. And then I even made some oracle cards.
I really want those. I didn't know you did that. I am collecting all cards that people make.
Well, I'll send you a deck.
Oh, I will love that. I will absolutely love that.
This deck, I mean, the time that we were in lockdown, right, when everybody was in lockdown, and every night I would sit in front of the TV and you know, sort of hear what's going on, but I would start drawing because it made me feel better. It made me feel calmer. It made me feel connected to something other than the craziness that was happening. So most of the pictures are, you know, just photographs of me taking pictures outside my window. And
Wow.
then
Yeah.
some of them I drew, like, I drew like, something like that, plant, people,
Oh,
medicine, and transformation, those kinds of things. And that, this picture just came out of my head, and I had them, and I was Johnny was like, I was like, should I make a deck? And Johnny was like, yeah, go make a deck.
no
So
doubt. Good
I,
advice.
not knowing anything about how to do it, I just went and did it. And then it came out, and I'm just really grateful. And so I'm going to give a deck away today, and Sheila's going to pick the number, you guys.
Oh,
So
yeah. And do they know how to get a hold of, like, sell it? Can they buy one from you?
yes, absolutely. You can go to my website, shininghawkhealing.com, and you can order the deck. I,
Fantastic.
it's just weird how some things come together. So I just, I'm like, what do you see as the future of political readings?
The future of political readings, I think it is stable. I think that we still have years before this country is stable.
Mm.
I I think we'll all rejoice when we get to a point where we're on our political channels and we're going, right?
So
That'll
what
be
do we
the
talk
day.
about?
You're like,
Be awesome.
well, we can look at other stuff. We can look at old stuff. You know what I mean? That day that we can just, but
the day when that guy, the big orange muffin, leaves either the stage or the planet or both or whatever, what will we talk about?
I think we're gonna have some people who are gonna mourn. And you're right. What are we going to talk about? Who's the next one? DeSantis is young. DeSantis is young, and so
Do you think he's the next guy? He's
Trump
the next guy
.2. Absolutely. I think he's worse because he is young and he's, dare I say it, smarter than Trump. And I do think that what his agenda is, I don't think we're done with DeSatan and anybody that supports him. I think we're not done with that. So we still have a few, I'm gonna say at least 10 years in this political arena. I think we will get more comfortable. I think we'll get safer so that people can fall away, that they don't have to keep on taking the temperature of this political arena. Right. But I think we still have to keep our finger on it for quite some time. But yeah, I can't wait till the day I get on my political channel and going, I've got nothing. You know what I mean? But until that day, I think
would be funny.
It's pretty stable.
Do you also do mediumship?
I have done mediumship. Now, when I do readings, a lot of times they're relatives. I always open up and say, hey, anybody that would like to speak to this person I'm doing readings for, please come in, you're allowed. And a lot of times a mother or a father or somebody or something along that lines will come in, and I can give them the message on that. My mediumship is not as advanced as, say, the New York lady, her, or, some famous person, but I can give messages, and sometimes messages really, really do come through. And I also, a lot of times they'll just show up and I'm like, that's the message. I am here with you. So, but I have that experience. I remember coming home, driving with my husband, and he had to go back to Iraq. And I got this profound, like your mom was with you the first time, and your grandfather who had died, he's going to be with you the second time. I mean, it was like that kind of a message, like you have never been over there alone. Right. And I had to give him details and, and all of that, these type of mediumships I've experienced. So.
And when you guys, when you were doing this work, when you guys met, right? When you and your husband met?
Well. I didn't tell him right away. Kind of waited until after we were married. Oh, look, I have tarot cards. You can't get away now.
So it sounds like he was into it. It sounds like he would, he was.
He accepted it. When it was a message for him, he was all into it. When it was, taken away from my time from him, and he wasn't into it. But yeah, he knew. It's like, I trapped you.
I made you. I created you.
He definitely got that story that I
did. What did he say to that?
He just like agreed, like he knew. He was like, yeah, that makes sense. The reason why I was compelled to do that, to do that, to do that. I mean, it was like a knowing that he was like, yeah, that makes sense. Now, instead of me trying to figure out how that day went, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know. I know what I was going to ask you, and it had to do with the pendulum, because I know some people use the pendulum like, they do it like this to focus, right? So, and then other people do it like that. But how I use it is I do it to clear energy. Say I will draw an outline of my house, and I will use the pendulum to see where around the perimeter there is, too much energy, not enough energy seeping through, that kind of thing. Do you do that? Do you use your pendulum in that way?
I have used my pendulum, my pendulum in so many other ways. Yes. Like, is there somebody here? Is there somebody here talking? Is there somebody that I know? Yeah, I've done that. I have done over cards, over money, over, all that kind of stuff.
Do you go to the store? Like one of my teachers used to go to the store. She always had her necklace, her pendulum as a necklace, right? Mm-hmm. And she'd go to the store and she'd hold it over certain things and going, is this good for me or whatever, and depending on how the pendulum, I was like, what?
I've heard of that. Now I do muscle testing too. Yeah, I've heard of that. I did it a lot of times in my late 20s. I learned about muscle testing and muscle testing for food and stuff like that.
Right.
And I would have somebody, a spiritual partner or teacher or whatever, girl, whatever, and I would have my my list, and she would muscle test me and see what I can eat and what I couldn't eat and things like that. But I never used it.
This one where you do
I don't trust that one with me. I'm
you don't?
No, I've tried it, and some people also do like this muscle testing, but my favorite is just doing like this with me.
Oh, the arm, yeah.
So I just go in and I'll hold something and I'll muscle test myself that way. But I've never thought of doing this with it. That's brilliant. Good idea. Go over there and see if I can eat that food. That's brilliant.
Well, most of the times he goes, I'm not a skinny girl either. So
we go into the store and then all of a sudden it's going, whoa, like, get out, Sheila. Don't go in. Things like that.
So, okay. Gosh, I could do this for 2 hours.
I know.
I mean, hours gone by already. I cannot friggin' believe it. What is
quick when you're having fun?
Oh gosh, you guys. So, okay, what we're gonna do is Sheila's gonna pick the number, and and I'm gonna time it. Give it a time. Let's see. Put the timer. Where's my timer? There it is. And I'm gonna say 10 seconds. What should I do? How much time should I give it? 1 minute?
For what exactly is the process?
I'm gonna do the deck giveaway, and so
how am I picking a number?
Picking a number between 1 and 50.
Okay.
So let's pick a number between 1 and 50. I think I'll give it a minute. Is that long? And is that too long?
Everybody's like 15 seconds, 20 seconds.
Okay.
Their ADD is low. Their level, their saturation.
My husband said 30 seconds. Okay.
Oh, I see.
My husband is like my producer. Well, he is my producer. So let's go over here, and you and I can go into the private chat. You let me know what the number is. Just write it down at the bottom.
Okay, so private chat.
Just type it in.
Type in a number from 1 to 50, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 1 to 50, let's do
Okay, good. Awesome. So now we go back to here, and I'm going to start the, oh my gosh, people got numbers up already. I didn't even start the thing. So let's see. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let's see. I'm going to do that one. This one. Okay, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that we have Robin E at 46. The number was what, Sheila?
47. So
we have Robin E.
We had another one, before that. Oh, okay. I don't know how you're doing it.
Did we have another 46?
We had Dara Kelly who come up with 47.
Oh, she did? Okay, Dara, I'm sorry. I didn't see that one. So sorry, Robin.
She's like,
sorry.
But yeah, I think she came up with the exact. I saw it come through. Dara, is it Dara Kelly?
Dara Kelly. Okay. So Dara Kelly, I see 12 here, Dara. Daria. Let's see. Did you do twice, Daria? Yeah, Daria, I see 12, 25.
She did a lot. She's like guessing.
She's hedging her bets, but you got it. So there you go. So congratulations, Daria. I will send your information to me to Shining Hawk Healing. You know what? That's not right. I don't know what my email address.
Hang on a minute while I retrieve my own information. That's what I do. Hang on a minute. Let me retrieve my own name. Hang on. Let me check somebody.
Healing Shamanic Reiki at gmail.com. And I will put that information underneath this video so that you can send it to me, and then I will send out your cards. And thank you so much, you guys, for being here. Thank you, Sheila, so much for being here. We had a laugh riot. I had a good time, and I would love to do it again. Yeah. Anytime that you want to come back on, you're totally welcome to talk about spirituality until you get your channel up and running.
I'll be reaching out for sure.
You can practice on me.
Yes, and you're always welcome on my channel as well. If you ever get an inclining to do a little, tarot reading on political, you let me know.
But everybody go to Sheila's channel and subscribe and give her some love and I am so grateful. Thank you so much. And thanks to everyone in the chat. If you're joining us after this live, give us a thumbs up and hit that bell when you want to be reminded when I do another video. So thank you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week. Walk in beauty, walk in joy, and walk in love. And I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.